Hi everybody, it's Kathy here, and I am joining everybody in with the Get in Shape hop this month. And for June we are doing all about rectangles. And what else would you do with rectangles but a Frankenstein page or a Franken base? And that's what I'm doing here. So I've gone through my scraps and I've pulled together a whole range of different papers that I have got lying around, and I'm cutting them into different rectangular shapes. They range in size from 12 by 1.5 to 12 by 2, and then every combination in between. And the best thing about a Franken base, it is all rectangular. Well, it could be all squarish if you wanted it to, but I choose to use mine as all rectangles. So this video is a little bit late, but that's okay. It's still falling into that time frame of rectangles for the month of June, and I'm hoping that if you're new to my channel today, that I do something to make you consider subscribing. Thank you to everybody else who is a subscriber. I do appreciate you coming back every single time to have a look at what's been going on my scrap desk. So, as I said, all of these I've cut down into rectangles, and we're going to build a Franken base. Now, a Franken base is a technique where you take scraps of paper and you put them together to recreate a full layout or a full coverage. So what I'm doing with these strips of papers, all different leftovers that I have in my stash, I am inking the edges, and I'm going to put them together so that they form a paneling type of effect. And then I'm going to use some faux stitching to put in the overall effect of a stitch, tying it together like Frankenstein. So this part is where you get to be creative and where you get to mix and match what you'd like to do. And in this case, because it is rectangles that we are focusing on, I feel this is perfect use of rectangles to show off your base. So I'm just layering them up onto the layout now, as you can see, and I'm matching them in so that I have got the full coverage. Now, some are long and some are short, but all of them I am inking the edges just so that you get that distinctive crossover and the distinctive linkage between each of the panels. And then I will go back and I will add more as I go. So you'll see how that process happens. Now, this is a great hop Miranda Weber has created for us through the year, and every month she gives us a different shape to work with. Now, you watch what I do here. I actually keep that to the side because I was going to fussy cut that flower out, but in the end I end up using the piece and it was a waste anyway, so I should have just put the hole down, but that's okay. It does its purpose further down the track. As I was saying, Miranda Weber makes this. There are some very talented scrappers playing along. They have all linked their videos down below, which you will be able to find in the playlist, and I'm sure you're going to be inspired by somebody in this amazing group of talented creators. Now, I know every single time I watch one of their videos, I learn something new, and I'm hoping that when you're watching mine, I either inspire you to try something new, learn something new, or refresh your memory of something that you've forgotten that you haven't used for a while. So that's the beauty of this crafting world. We get to share our creativity with each other, and we really do appreciate when you stop by to watch. So thank you once again to everybody who has taken the time to watch today. It is very, very important that you continue to support us and we continue to give you what you need. Leave us a comment down below and let me know, am I hitting the mark? What would you like to see more of? What would you like to see in the future? So as I'm finishing up this Franken base, you can see that it is a technique that requires a bit of patchworking. It's a bit like a quilt altogether. It overlaps, it comes together, and you can see here that I'm just mixing and matching all the pieces that I've cut, and I'm just going to add another 2-inch down there, and it looks like that the green script paper has been cut in half by that wood grain in the middle. And this has just come together beautifully. I love how the colours all blend so naturally together. When you first looked at all those scraps, you would not think that they would all go together, but the colours just look magnificent. They're just complementary to each other, and I just love how it's turned out. Now, I am straightening up this because for some reason that is a bit crooked. I do not know why. You saw me place it down. You know that it went down straight, but it is a little bit crooked, but that's okay. So I'm now going back over the top with other pieces or other rectangular shapes, and that's creating a little bit more of an interest across the layout. And these ones will run horizontally as opposed to all the vertical ones that you see in place. See, this is where I wrecked that piece, and I realise I've done that. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, it's all good. It all works in the end. And so I'm just inking up the edges of this one so I can make it run a little bit longer across the page. Just liking that you add the little bit of extra detail by overlapping and crisscrossing, and that is the beauty of the Franken page. They look like they're all a big patchwork coming together as one design. So I'm just making sure it goes over the edge of the framing that I've added, and I did use a 1-inch frame in the chocolate brown, and that's because I'm using that to map my photos as well. But the brown with the gathered twigs, that's the colour that I'm using to ink up the edges of my pieces of paper. Gives that smoky feel to the layout. And I'm loving how this is all coming together. And you can see here how that Franken base works, and the mix of horizontal and vertical rectangles really stands out on the layout overall. So I'm just adding in the last couple of pieces here. It does take time to do. I'm not going to deny that. They overlap at places, and that's the beauty of it. You're only restricted by your own creativity. So have a go. Pull up your scraps, build what we call a Franken base, and you might surprise yourself at how clever it looks when you pull them all together. And I just love it. Now, some people use a sewing machine to sew up the edges or go around the edges, but I'm going to just faux stitch around it. So all I'm doing is going along the edges and doing a zigzag doodle so that it looks like I have zigzag stitched it. As I said, some people do pull out the sewing machine, and they will use the sewing machine to do a Franken base. I like to do it with doodling because it keeps it flat. It is already a little bit dimensional by having all of those scraps laying on top of each other. So the doodled stitching makes it look like it's been stitched, but allows the flatness to stay in the layout. And you work your way around all of the edges so that you make sure you capture each of them to make sure that you're not leaving any undone, and this can take time as well. So I have sped this up a little bit for you, and it does take a little bit of concentration to make sure you do not miss one of the edges. Now you'll see that I have left one at the top there not done, so I go back and I fill that in now. Got ones here that I need to fill in. I'm just checking that I've gone through and I missed that one there. Now I'm going to go down and fill in these ones. And once it's finished, the effect is just amazing. Look at that. It looks like Frankenstein, doesn't it? It looks like Frankenstein's face where he had the stitching. And that's how that comes together and looks so effective. Now these photos are of my husband at the Pioneer Village when we went recently. And we locked him up in the jail. Yes, that's what you do. This is a local, well, it's not local, it's a historical heritage village where they have got historic pieces from Australia's early days, and it's actually where the Australian show Wild Boys was filmed. So these are really authentic colonial housing. This one here is the police station. It's the original police station. So all of these were used in the show Wild Boys. Wild Boys. And you can watch that show if you download it or watch it on a streaming service. And this is the historical beginnings of Sydney. So these houses that are at this village are not replicas, they're the actual ones that they moved onto the site. So this, as I said, is the police station, and I'm just tucking in some rectangle note pieces here that I've cut out of a piece of paper that had some cut aparts that were like heritage typed. I have the title, which I'm calling Nowadays, and it's because it's about my husband everywhere we go now because of his heart condition and how much it's deteriorated. He still wants to be part of all the activities that we do, and we're grateful that he can at times, so that when he does come, he does spend a lot of the time having to take rests and rest breaks between what we're doing. So we were laughing. We thought we'd lock him up in the jail and he could rest there while we were all moving around the different parts of the village. So I'm adding a camera in here. I've got a few little sayings that say photographs and happy life. And then I'm just contemplating some extra things to build into those clusters there. And I'm very conscious that it is rectangles, but sometimes you need to add extras to it. So I am going to add in some of these little stickers here that are cogs, and because they'll just fit in nicely with the overall feel of the layout. And as you can see, I'm just putting them into the clusters there at the top with the title, one down here with the camera, and the other one down next to that word phrase where it says happy life. So that's how pretty easily this has come together. I do like how it's turned out. I love the colours. They match the colours in that photo array just perfectly. You know, it just is a great way to use up all your scraps. I can honestly say Franken's bases are something that I love putting together, and that just is a different way of creating a background, especially when you have loads of strips of paper. That's my layout. I like how everything is down. You can see the title in place, and I'm just going to finish off with my Nouveau drops on the edges of these, turning them into like paneling on, or like nail heads on the layout, and that is pretty much the layout. I do have journaling on that rectangle piece there in the center. So I have my 3 going down diagonally. I have the 3 behind the main photo, just putting in the date stamp there. I like that you've got the 3 panels with the nail head type appearance. And I'm just going to add in some splatters for that artistic flair, as they say. And I'm using vintage photo in the spritz to do that, and because that will blend beautifully in with the layout. So there are, as I said, lots of people playing along each month with this hop. Please go and check out everybody in the playlist down below. As I said, if I've done something to earn it, give me a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that you like my content, and it will push it out further. If you hit the notification bell, it will let you know when I'm dropping a new video. And I really do appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to watch me pull together a layout. Have a go. Please feel free to. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. As I said, check out the playlist down below. You will be amazed. You will be amazed at what people can do with the simple shape of a rectangle. Don't be afraid of those shapes. Get them on your layouts. Happy scrapping until next time, everybody. Here's my next video for you, and I'll see you there real soon.